I'm gonna get into my review, because right there at the end of this thing, we just beat it. So I can immediately start thinking of the things that I was expecting to be better, that I might want to improve on, but also where it was really good. I think in totality, I think my critical rating for the game is about a 9 out of 10. And I think my personal rating for the game is the exact same, because it's just very fun. It's just a really enjoyable ass game to play. What I appreciate about it is they're almost there with an all killer, no filler campaign, where they're just trying to like, let's just make everything super fun. And I appreciate that. I really do. We haven't gone through the difficult part of the story yet. That's a criticism that I have. People are saying that the insane mode is a different game and that it's really hard, which is great, but I was definitely feeling a lack of hardcore difficulty. RE2 Remake, I believe, had hardcore. I think Village had hardcore, as well as RE4 Remake. All of them had a hardcore difficulty. It can feel a little breezy at times. They just give you so much shit to work with. Even on the harder difficulty that I was technically playing on, which is changes save data from what I understand. I did feel like if there's one criticism I have, this game is more of a roller coaster than I would say the majority of the latest Resident Evil games have been. And there's not really an opportunity for you to like go around and look at things and really meander and do stuff. That was at the beginning of the game. So yeah, I did feel like I wanted a hardcore difficulty right at the start. That would have been more fun. The nice part is that character-wise, it's great. It's such a nice departure from RE7 and 8, bro. Some of like the enemy characters were good in RE7 and 8, but like having the two protagonists actually be interesting in some way was cool. And I could see some people seeing as like the ending as like a rug pull or something like that. I didn't necessarily feel that way. I thought it was like, this sort of lines up with the grounded modern day Resident Evil that they've been building. I will say, I loved the dual gameplay dynamic aspect of the game. And I feel like that's where you mostly get your bang for your buck with Resident Evil 9. Most of the folks that are either committed to these games want Resident Evil to either be scary or for them to be fun. And those usually aren't two things that are intertwined directly. Some people find scary things to be fun, but like scary things are like tense and scary and fun things are like Leon shit, you know? And I think they did a very good job of balancing action and horror throughout the majority of this game. And I actually felt it was even better at the end of the main campaign when you were really bouncing between stuff with Grace, stuff with Leon, like back and forth like quite a bit. That actually felt really good. But it was pretty clear that how the game is going to be paced out. The beginning of the game is this big ass Grace section, and then the second half of the game is this big ass Leon section. Grace gets her RPD and Leon gets his RPD. And what I mean by that is the big first puzzly area, right? Like a giant puzzly area. Grace's is the hospital. Leon's is literally Raccoon City. Like, and you have to solve all of this shit with both of them. Everything after that is like smaller sort of cinematic puzzler slash action sequences that bring you forward to like the final lab. But even the final lab, which usually acts as like the big RPD, right, was pretty straightforward in this one. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good time. I don't know how replayable it's gonna feel, much as I really enjoyed the time that I had with it, because it does both of them very effectively. We'll see. I have to replay it again to find out. I don't feel like the first person to third person stuff did anything for me. It doesn't change the game enough or make it more engaging. It doesn't do any of that shit for me. I could have taken or left it without the first person, third person mixing. I'm completely ready to move the hell away from first person Resident Evil, man. They just feel better to play. I think it's better seeing the characters. I think it's better seeing their reactions. I think it's better seeing all this stuff. I enjoyed RE7 and RE8 for what they were, but at the same point, it's like, it's nice, but is it like a transformative big deal? Not really. If anything, I wish they just committed to one or the other. I did really like the story surprises and shit. I really loved how they handled nostalgia. I kind of wanted it to take as long as possible. I wanted it to really take my time with it because I was like, I feel like I'm having a great time with this. I don't want it to be over really fast. I spent way too much time killing a ton of shit as Grace. It felt very Metal Gear 4-ish in many ways, for those that have actually played that game. I really dug the puzzles at the beginning of the game. I thought they were good. There really isn't a part that is like overtly boring. If one thing did bug me a little bit, I was kind of getting sick of looking at dilapidated Raccoon City. But for the most most part, it was like still very fun. It's a great game. It's a legit really good time. I think we need to be able to validate games that are like 10 to 20 hours, but still offer like a banger experience. Like, I think that there's legit value in this industry still for that kind of shit. RE4 is also great because it's just big and expansive and also does treasure hunting and all this kind of bullshit. This game didn't really feel like it mechanically wanted to lean into any wildness. The juxtaposition of getting slow-ass meandering gray sections with like crazy Leon action set pieces is wonderful. I don't feel the immediate need to want to fire it up again right now. In Resident Evils, you have the need to fire it up immediately. The reason this exists in RE games, just in general, is that you know where to go and what to do. And there's a little bit of that in this, but understanding like where the crit path is and just blasting that ass is like, oh shit, I don't need to fight this guy, I don't need to do that, I don't need to pick up that, I'm gonna grab this, I'm gonna grab that. Like, rocking a Resident Evil game, especially an OG one that way, feels great. It feels really good. You know what I actually feel this game is? This game is the Resident Evil 6 Apology Tour. I feel like everything they were trying to do in RE6 as a game before it got out of their hands, this is what RE6 was supposed to be. And when we eventually got RE6, it was like, oh god, this is fucking trash. I honestly feel like that's kind of the point of this experience, is that this is the game they wanted RE6 to be until it got really messy. Because it feels that way. Really kind of feels like this is RE6 because Leon's here as well. It feels like that's like the goal of giving these dynamic different gameplay elements and sequences throughout the entire game, you know? And not to mention having Sherry and Leon back. Criticisms. I mean, I think it's great. I had a really goddamn good time with it. It's a legit super enjoyable game, but it's hard to get Resident Evil games that are not enjoyable. They're all pretty good. Even Resident Evil 3 is crap by many standards, and I did not like it, but it's still like a 7 out of 10. I think aiming's a problem. I get it. You have the options to change your aim. Dude, I did not get a good aiming settings until 80% through the game. My bitch ass spent, I can't even count how many times my bitch ass went into the menu and is like, aiming feels like shit. I'm gonna go in and change it, and I'm like, 30 minutes later, aiming feels like shit. And I would go in and fix this thing again. Aiming feels like shit. I would run into some funny situation where aiming just feels fucking bad. And then by the absolute end of the game, I got to a comfortable spot where it's like, all right, I'm not having any issues shooting right now. All right, somebody gave me some settings that felt good. RE4 Remake had this problem. And straight up, I don't recall ever having issues, particularly with the way aiming feels in RE4, in RE5, or RE6. And even RE2 Remake doesn't necessarily feel like aiming is that weird. At least on controller, I could not believe how much I was going into that menu where I was like, why does aiming feel weird? Like, why is it making me sick to my stomach at times? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? Dude, the amount of videos that I'm seeing people put up about this shit, because the same thing happened in RE4 Remake until you dial it in. I think that's bizarre, bro. I just want my sensitivity. And then there's crazy things that they miss with this shit. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how ADS aiming is one setting. I think this legit is going to make my score potentially lower. The ADS settings for a sniper scope and a regular aim down sight is the same. And I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like every single time I want to aim down a sniper scope, much less also do this with like a regular gun, it is the same speed. If the sniper's naturally slower, which you kind of do, then your regular pistol's like, and I'm like, this feels bad. That was weird to me that I had to go constantly into the menu and change shit. It was taking me out of the game way too much. And the other big criticism I got is that the game's pretty dry on content in its current state. There's a few extra bonus things I can do which involve me playing through the campaign again. No mercenaries at the start is a bit rough. I get it. It's the previous games have been like that. It's a bit light on just content in general. And usually a lot of these games give you a bit more that you can do. Resident Evil 2 literally gives you 2 completely different campaigns that have 2 of the completely different sizes. RE4 is also like just really big, really long, but still, it's like, I was really hoping I was gonna be able to actually fight more shit. I needed 2 times the amount of enemies than present in my first playthrough. Give me twice the amount of enemies to fight with Leon. Litter that bitch-ass hospital with dudes, even though I killed them with grace and shit. So yeah, maybe that'll change for subsequent playthroughs like moving down the line, but it's a legit really good time. And the characters are fun. It's visually like one of the best looking games Capcom's ever made. It has some great gameplay mechanics, and honestly, some of the grace sections is the most Resident Evil that Resident Evil has been ever. The grace sections with the zombies and the personalities and shit, I'm like, this shit is great. I think the best part of the game is the grace hospital section specifically. It's amazing. Every single corner, every single turn, every single monster, every single interaction, everything, dude. It feels great. The Leon part that happens after that is like, bam, this is great. Like, it's a nice little like dessert to what you just went through. I mean, I get it. It's awesome. The hospital is just like quintessential godlike Resident Evil, like OG RE shit. It's great, dude. And then you get reasons for you to upgrade. You get reasons to go and kill guys. Like, am I gonna do this? It's the most like gameplay centric in the entire game. And I feel like I wanted to get those moments with Leon, but Leon just blasts these motherfuckers, dude. That's why I'm saying I wanted like 2 times the amount of enemies in some of these situations. My criticism is that the Leon shit is so much fun. It's so cool. It's so good. I wanted more of it. And that's why at the end of the game, I was like, give me that goddamn mercenaries mode. I'm ready. I just want to fight shit. Exactly. I just want to fight shit. Either way, I don't think it's absolutely perfect, but I think the sum of its parts and what it does really well is genuinely good. And I feel like for the majority of people that were like waiting on this kind of an experience of getting like the OG RE stuff with like a nice mixture of action, yeah, this is a new formula for Capcom because we're not even going to count RE6. This is what they wanted to do with RE6 and it just wasn't good. Now they did it in a way that actually feels kind of nice. Feels like it actually gives a shit about Resident Evil's characters and it cares about their lore and their history a lot more. This one feels like it's a love letter to fans. Yeah, it really does.